Cassius, you wake up exactly on the dot of sunset. Exactly as planned. Everyone else is still asleep, and you have a message on your phone.
Yeah, he rolls out of bed, flips open his phone, and checks that.
It is from P. Williker. It merely says, I have acquired the 4 sacred cows, 2 goats, and a doe. They are currently with a driver in a van, waiting for delivery. Do you have any idea where you would like them delivered?
Sends a message back saying, please deliver them to the a point just outside the forest. Thank you very much. I will meet the driver there and take delivery.
There's like a kind of long stay parking lot in that area, so at the very
Convenient.
least, you can park there. Within the next 5 minutes, as you're kind of getting up and getting ready, there is a little ding as you get a new message that simply says, I have made the arrangements.
Thank you. And then he gets up and goes down into the kitchen.
Okay.
He...
The remnants of last
a
night's
bento box.
Oh yeah, but also the remnants of last night's research spree still kind of sitting around all over the place.
Yeah, he puts down his journal on top and he starts to neatly stack a pile of books that he just gets a scrap of paper and some twine, wraps them up, in that kind of X around, like bow tied, puts a scrap of paper on top and just writes on it to Tess and Chrys. And puts everything that he thinks would be relevant to them in there. He has no doubt in his mind that there's a very low chance they would actually properly read it, but that's what the journal's there for.
Would you like to include the page notations of where they can find? Because
that's absolutely what is in the in the journal, including his own summaries and theories of what connects where and with who and that sort of thing.
That's very good, because I think we both know that neither Chrys nor Tess would read any of it otherwise. And it's still 50-50 as to whether they'll read it.
Yeah, the journal might just end up rotting somewhere in a corner.
Yeah.
But he tried, and that's all he can do.
Okay. So, would you like to go and meet the
Oh, just before I forget.
Oh yeah.
He also writes a letter to Tess specifically, puts that next to it, which includes the story of how to get into the forest.
Okay. Also, just a sidebar, this is probably, at least for the foreseeable future, the last time you're going to see them before you head off. So, would you like to leave a note for any of them or all of them, or part of me thinks that Cassius is the type to get up early, slip off without anyone knowing, and just kind of wander off and be like, I'll be back in 10 years or something. That's cool.
I think he has a little bit more presence of mind at the moment, and he does.
That's fair, yeah.
He does write out notes to each of them.
Okay.
Specifically. Includes various words of encouragement and or mollification. We'll see.
Is that is that the two original members, or do you include Nahari or Alec in that at all?
Oh, he definitely writes stuff out to Nahari and Alec as well, yeah, because he's got things to say to them.
I can only imagine.
Oh, and before I forget, he does leave instructions for Saturday about how to get to various places in North America.
Okay, very nice. Alright. With all that done, and both of us thinking that there's probably nothing else that Cassius needs to do.
He's forgetful though, so it's completely in character.
It's been a year. Not for our characters, it's been like 3 days, but for us, it's been a year.
Yeah, since the campaign started.
So, would you like to move on to the 3 sacred cows to... Oh god, what the hell was it?
3 sacred cows, 2 goats and a doe. Yeah, he is.
It sounds like the beginning to a joke. 3 sacred cows, 2 goats and a doe walk into a bar.
Why the long face?
No.
No.
The bartender says, "What is this? A sacrifice?"
Cass is going to gather up Conan and the 2 foxes, which he totally hasn't named yet, and yeah, walk off towards the forest.
I like velvet for a fox.
Kid.
Yep. Okay. So, walking through the town, there's actually quite a few people out. Usually when you lot get up, there's a fair bit of hanging about and chatting and generally recriminations from the previous night. Or smoothing over problems caused from the previous night. Kind of nice not to have to do that this time. For Cassius, of course. I kind of enjoy it. And you head towards the parking lot. Once you get there, there's like a few cars, like, you know, 1 or 2, lots of spaces. You see like a big kind of truck van type thing with a kind of back trailer carriage bit. I don't know trucks. I don't know what they're called. And he's kind of got a flat cap and a bomber jacket on. When he sees you, he kind of jogs over, holds up the keys.
Brilliant. I snatch the keys out. You all paid up?
All good.
All right. Have a nice evening.
You too, Gov. And he like pulls his jacket up and wanders off.
Yeah. Cass can't drive a truck into the forest.
No, it's fairly near, to be fair.
Okay, yeah. He backs the truck up, points the back end towards the direction he's going to go, and yeah, pulls down the ramp.
You can herd them with the canines. Nice. So there's a and whatever the hell noise a doe makes, I don't even know.
It's like some sort of horrible, strained, groaning mooing sound.
Like gazelle, it's like, although not.
Yeah. It's almost like a moo.
Yeah.
More terrifying when you're walking through the woods.
It's not as bad as a dying rabbit. You ever heard one of those? Jesus.
No.
It sounds like bloody murder. It unbelievable.
Cool.
Not good when you're taking your dog for a walk at like midnight and you're going through the woods and then you hear this rabbit like getting attacked or dying or something, and it's just like Rah!
That and foxes, terrifying sounds.
In that case, please roll me a... I already feel you need to engage your powers of, your supernatural animal powers. I think this will just be a charisma animal ken, really.
Brilliant. Can I have the +1 for
Canines, you
an
mean?
animal ken canine? Yeah. Oh, that is 7 successes.
Easy. Easy. They don't... The animals even stop making noise and just plod slowly. And you, as possibly the weirdest procession in Vampire the Masquerade history ever...
I tell these cows a story.
Well, you proceeded to the forest. So, it is quite quiet in the forest. Few
Cassius
birds
is
still going.
Yeah, he's humming to himself to fill the void.
And as you get closer, you get to the area where you expect there to be like thick fog, thick mist, but as the trees and the foliage kind of part, and you're like, okay, this is the beginning of like the territory. You don't see any.
Well, that's not good. He thinks for a moment and takes a look around. When you say quiet, this is quiet even for a woods at night? Like,
I mean,
no rustling, no
there's rustling.
animal.
There's some birds chirping and everything.
Okay, so it's not like the animals have been scared away.
No.
Sort of. Okay, that puts him at a little bit more ease. In that case, he's going to try and find the route that he took to drive his camper van in here the first place.
Okay. You keep walking for a few more minutes. As you remember, one of the nice thing about the fog is it actually, like, well, at least all these times before, it kind of seeped out quite a far way, so you didn't have to walk as far because you eventually hit the mist, and then, you know, whichever way you wanted to go, you could guide the fog into taking you there. After maybe 5 minutes of walking, and here boy, and come by, as you're, well, there's not too much actual instructions you need to give the foxes and Conan, because they know what they've got to do. You do come upon a, the best way I can describe it is the fog, but slightly less, strong looking, I guess is the word.
Less dense?
Less dense. It's, you still can't, like, before it was almost like walking into cotton. Now it's a bit more like walking into a cloud, like you still can't see through it, it still clearly obscures, but it's a bit more ethereal until you get into it, and then it starts to close around you, if you do indeed go into it.
He's gonna think about it. And he's gonna like see if he can sense any fuckery. But aside from that, I think he's there to just get these animals delivered. So he'll go in after that.
Yeah. What type of fuckery are you trying to sniff out or sense or?
I feel like, the only senses he really has are normal human senses, and temporis. He would sense for time wibbles.
Okay. Well, the time wibbles are very much doable. I can tell you that there are no dilations or alterations to time.
Okay.
Aside from the standard, very slight one that you get from your kind of, home.
Right. Yeah.
And you know what? I will count this as using your eyes. But we will roll intelligence occult. Because I imagine you're not really looking out for like, oh, I spot a deer or something like that.
Yeah.
So like while you're probably trying to be aware with normal senses, you're trying to discern it, anything you see with a more kind of like occulty thing. And I can tell you,
3.
you don't really notice anything like worrying. There's no frozen in time dead bodies with half the organs taken out, so that's nice.
Yay!
Bonus.
Okay, good. Yeah, he's obviously worried by the change in how the fog is, but he goes in.
Okay. The fog. I don't want to say swallows you because that might make you nervous, but the fog envelops you as you walk forward. Which little story are we telling here?
I think he's gonna go with the classic. He is telling the story of how Gravestone went through the forest, calmed the spirits, and existed long before a lot of things and people and places can remember.
Okay.
And he marked death.
He marked death. So, as you walk out of the, I'm assuming you're including all of sundry Noah's Ark occupants coming with you.
Yeah.
You walk out, followed by sundry animals, and in front of you, you see an open area with nothing in it but a person. It's Winnie.
Oh. Hey, Winnie.
Hello, Cassius.
I'll be honest, I didn't expect this, but well, I'm glad you're here at the end of this particular chapter.
I thought I would come and see you off. I have refrained from visiting or coming to see you or appearing, apparating.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called either.
I didn't want to affect your decisions or path any more than I already had.
Well, I would say you were pretty influential on me. Hopefully for the best. Not just me, everyone else. It's kind of a shame you couldn't have been around. Everyone's really, well, they've had to grow up. It's not been easy. Could have done with your help.
I wish I could have stayed to help a bit longer, but sometimes we are not always left with much of a choice.
Well, if you want to help anyone, I'm I'm glad to see you, but seems like Saturday. Maybe Chrys might need some words of wisdom. Chrys will probably hate you when she sees you. Saturday feels like he's avenged you, so
I feel Saturday probably needs time like you once did. If you want, you could go and talk to Shelby and help Saturday the way I helped you. But I can't say it is a choice that is easy to make, but sometimes
well, I think if he spends time in New York, that might help.
I agree. I leave that to your judgment, though. I'm not really in a position to decide much of anything, and I'm glad of that.
Yeah. I tried to be like you. I really did. But I think there are some marked differences. I don't know whether that's good though. I'm not gonna meddle.
I did try not to meddle as much as I could.
We both know that you had your idea of what was best. And you got it a lot of time. A lot of the time.
That is true. It's very hard not to feel like you know best. Especially when you're older and wiser. But
oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I suppose thanks to you, there's a new member of the clan. So that's good.
For what it's worth, I do think you chose correctly, as I still maintain I chose correctly.
So you're claiming all the credit, are you? Okay.
Well,
that was a joke, Winnie.
I presume you are here to see Gravestone.
I made a promise, as did Gravestone, and I need to hold up my end.
You did. One of the reasons I was allowed here was because Gravestone is not here.
Yeah, something's changed in the woods. Do you know what it is?
The spell, the magic that wards your home has lessened with the exodus of Gravestone. It still works, but it will be a little spotty and not as effective as it once was.
That's a shame. But I guess that was the deal. What happened to Gravestone? I got all these cows.
They are a sacrifice to mark death.
Well, yeah.
Just a little bit of sidebar, because you would notice there are no gravestones here.
Yeah, they're conspicuously absent when I arrived.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Do you know where he went?
I believe he saw an opportunity to infiltrate a belief system. something about a hole in the wall and past that I do not know.
Oh, that's worrying.
As far as I know, he is going a long way away. So.
Somehow I like it less when he's further away.
I can
Tess
see
is going to
that.
be disappointed. Okay, well, I guess I'd better do what I said I'd do.
And I should return. The only other reason I came here was for a small piece of advice.
Oh, still meddling. Okay. Also a joke. So,
Well, you're not wrong. There is still a parental urge to protect.
I almost didn't leave because of that, but yes, I understand.
I merely wish to say, I'm glad you found your own path, and to watch out for your weaknesses. It's important to stay challenged, to avoid apathy and boredom. I think you know enough about who we are, specifically, to know that if you go down the wrong path, you start to disconnect.
Yeah. It's not easy. I've made a lot of very, what I assumed were pragmatic decisions based on the idea that I thought I was smarter than I was, or that people's emotions didn't matter, and well, we know where that got us.
I think we see the ripples of some of my similar thoughts and decisions, even still.
Don't worry, I'll deal with it.
Then I'll not worry.
But thanks for the advice.
It was the only thing I felt that was left to be said.
Well, unless you want to see a lot of cow blood, I hope you are happy wherever you are.
Actually, I have one more. I guess favor is the word. I'm not sure if I honestly have the right to ask anything of you, but if you can you, when you head in that direction, take me home?
Yeah. I don't know. How do I do that?
You still have the remnants of what I once was.
Right. Okay.
And hey, maybe I'll see you there.
Not for a while.
Not for a while. And he turns around and walks off.
Okay. Turns around to Conan and he's just like, heard him this way. And he like ties down all of the ones that he's not currently like leading to. He's gonna do it about where the gravestones were in his imagination. And
well, there's still like a kind of dead grass where in the shape of like a thing.
Okay.
So you can see where the gravestones were.
Yeah. Dang it. Can't find the sheepy stories. That's fine. Yeah, he's going to take out a very sharp, what amounts to a large kitchen knife that he would have taken with him. And faces towards the fog and holds the reins on this cow. And he brandishes the knife above his head and just says, "Gravestone, you who mark death, accept one more into your fold. And when the day comes and the horn is blown, unleash hell." And he performs the sacrifice.
Okay. And I assume you repeat that.
Yeah, he repeats that several times, and he probably drinks some of the blood as part of this ceremony that he's just kind of inventing as he goes.
Okay.
And like he makes sure that the blood is spilled to saturate the ground in this place.
Okay. Please roll me a First up, you feel time shifting.
Oh no. Well,
second up, please roll me a wits awareness.
balls. Yeah, okay, in that case he's gonna rouse.
Okay.
Oof.
You get hungry.
He's gonna do wits awareness. Okay, that's 5, 7 again.
That's good. You see on the kind of blood splattered dark grass and everything, like the faintest of little movements, just a tiny like shifting of possibly earth and grass. You also hear a very, very faint thump coming from the forest towards you.
Does it sound like the padding of large paws?
Kind of.
Kind of. I think he's going to and the sacrifice is finished at this point, yeah, right?
Yeah.
He's going to
although the mist actually very, very slightly recedes away from you, just like almost like it was blown very slightly by the wind.
Yeah, he'll call Conan to his side and he's going to start reaching out with his time sense, and in fact, he's going to activate his strength. Not that he thinks it'll do any good against a giant wolf if it's not pleased with him.
Okay.
But he's just preparing himself for whatever's coming at him. Yeah.
Incidentally, the oh, I guess you didn't really look at it. Tell me if you do take a moment to look at the whatever it was that shifted the ground. But
yeah, he does.
Okay.
He's like, is it something underneath the ground?
It's a very, very small little wooden kind of it almost looks like the blade of a sword, like that kind of shape, where it goes straight up and then at the very end like finishes into a triangle point. It's got like the writing of letters or runes or something you've never seen before. And yeah, it's kind of about this big.
He's gonna reach down and see if he can pull it out of the ground.
No, it feels like you're trying to lift a house.
Oh.
And coming out of the mist in front of you is similarly a tiny wolf pup.
Okay. Cassius gets up off the ground and faces the wolf pup and just says, "Gravestone?"
The wolf, the wolf pup, kind of like swings its head so it can stare more accurately. Conan very slightly takes like a paw step back and like the bristles like shiver on his like fur stands up very slightly. And then the wolf pup thing turns around and walks back out into the forest and through the mist.
Cassius's job here is done, so he's going to follow the wolf pup.
Okay. You'll go through the mist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You, Conan and the foxes follow, or?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. You find, as you walk through the mist, kind of like going through the same point where the wolf pup went, you follow and come out at your camper van.
And I'm assuming I lose sight of the wolf pup.
Well, as soon as it goes through the fog, yeah.
Damn. Maybe baby gravestone.
Would you like to roll a intelligence occult for this?
I would.
To try and gain some insight into what the hell just happened. You've got 2 dice you can reroll?
Yeah, I will.
That's fair.
Okay, that's 3.
3. Yeah. You actually, it's not too difficult for you because you start to piece together some information. I believe it was Shelby told you the true nature of Gravestone. Which was a spirit that supplants and like gets into belief and takes it over for its own.
Yeah.
But he never explained to you what happens to the original object of belief.
is so Cassius has performed a ritual that was a lot older style.
So, what Cassius and Tess and everyone was dealing with was, to all intents and purposes, gravestone, but also the spirit or god equivalent of like a hermit crab, which crawled into some other spirit or god's belief system, took it over, and supplanted it.
Gravestone was never
Gravestone was never gravestone.
Gravestone was never gravestone.
And has now moved on to some other form of belief or god, which it is going
Which
to...
Cassius is like inkling that it might be something to do with the blessed.
You can definitely make that assumption.
Mm-hmm.
If you think further, you can think of maybe something recently that they acquired.
Yeah.
And the things that it does, or possibly does.
That's not good.
It is what it is. Effectively, you have revived a dead god. And technically speaking, are its only believer?
Yeah, I guess.
No. Again, like...
Huh.
The story of Gravestone is like millennia old, as far as you can tell. So, it's very possible that Gravestone, as we assume this is the real Gravestone, again, doesn't see time the same way. So it's something to store for the future, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, he's stirring that one in the back and is like, oh, new god. Baby god.
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe helpful. Maybe needs my help. So, with all this in mind, he's going to go into the camper van and just like brace himself for the shit show that he's about to witness of varying sizes and shapes of nonsense.
Yeah, it's a massive hall. It's actually completely bare. There's nothing in there. The space fuckery, like the bigger on the inside, hasn't gone away. So.
Shelby, you here?
No reply.
That's not unusual, so he's gonna try a couple more times and start looking around.
There is no sign of Shelby.
Damn it. He probably fucked off when Gravestone fucked off. Well, I hope he's all right, because that boy is in trouble. No. Yeah, Cassius is going to move around and try and find some of his things to like pack into a small bag before he leaves.
Okay. Yeah, you gather up your stuff, your books, your bits and pieces.
There's no way to drive this thing, is there?
Not in its current state. No, you kind of you hired a truck, like drove it out here, and then decoupled it and drove the truck back. Just a rental, like for a day.
Yep.
So it's not the worst place to have like a getaway when you need it, and
at least it'll be there for Chrys, Tess, and Nahari, and
yeah, the go-through will have it too.
They'll probably make some use of it.
I mean, they've got a giant hall technically speaking.
True. Yeah. So Cass is just gonna say his final goodbyes to the space, the fire pit, the rabbits, stuff like that, and then make his way out of the forest.
Okay. And heads to the meeting place?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you taking dog and foxes?
He's gonna just take dog.
Oh, no. Okay. Like release the foxes from your kind of.
Yeah, he's gonna try and ask them politely to stay around Flint Bridge, but you know, I mean, there's residential areas there. I'm sure they'll find bins to eat from around there anyway.
Please roll me. Yeah, a charisma animal can.
Okay.
With 2 extra dice.
Okay. That is 4.
Okay. You get the impression they would be more than happy to stay here.
Mm-hmm. Cool. That's good. He feels some sense of relief that even if he's not here, the foxes will be around. And if he comes back, he will either meet them or their descendants.
And actually, as you start walking off through the forest again, they both turn around and walk back into the mist. So, head through the forest, back out, start walking through town.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe the meeting place was the first place you met, which is
The theater.
the theatre. Okay. You're not exactly rushing. It's still early in the evening. And there was no set time, just, you know, once you've got your affairs in order. As you approach the theatre, you see Talia, you know, tight blonde hair in a bun, glasses, and you know what? Let's get a roll for this because it's Cassius. Please give me a wits etiquette.
Hey, I've got things in that.
You do.
Nobody knew it, but I do. I don't suppose she's part of the literati.
She's not, no. And also, it's not pertaining to that either.
1.
Okay. To the best of your basic knowledge or what you see, she seems to be dressed in her standard kind of very business-like attire, but even with a 1, I'm going to give you this, there's like very slight changes that are a bit more attractive than strictly business. You know, like a little flower pin and, you know, things like that. So it's not like strict serious business attire that you met her when at the warehouse that time.
Okay. I think it should be noted that Cassius will also be wearing his nice suit.
Yeah.
His one nice suit. Probably No, I think it's just a nice suit. That's his making an effort.
And she doesn't smile, but her face softens very slightly when she sees you, which is almost a smile for Talia.
Wow.
Hmm.
Cass half smiles.
And she says, Cassius, are you ready to head off?
I believe all my affairs are in order, and we've got a lot to do.
We do. If you come with me, we will be going to the warehouse, and from there we will be going to Rome.
We're starting with a Camarilla.
We are starting with Divine. Once we have consolidated her power, we'll have much more punching weights with which to negotiate with.
Well, I owe Davina a favor anyway, so let's do it.
Very good. And you walk over, heading in the direction of the warehouse. You go there's a couple of guys outside the warehouse with these big kind of chain link gates, which get dragged open to reveal a Humvee, a kind of like long stretch limo, and another Humvee with like multiple what you assume are humans and maybe a few vampire kindred like thrown in there. Quite a few of them with like bulges, or some of them even like straight up holding guns, like rifle, kind of assault rifle type guns. And Cassius doesn't know that much about cars, but I'd say even still, he can tell that these are like bulletproof glass and armor plated, and they just have that look of kind of like
They're just big and bulky.
Yeah, just big and bulky as
Yeah.
hell.
They really don't want us to leave this city, do they?
We are not going a subtle way out, so.
It was never my style.
No.
And yours either. So, let's do this.
Of course. She holds out her hand as the door opens to, like, help you in, basically.
He's gonna take it.
And then, like, when you go in, she, like, uses you to pull herself in as well. And kind of joins you in it's the limo in the center there. Door closes. Nice big spacious area. She sits kind of opposite you on the chairs. All of the Humvees and the limos start up and start to drive off out past the hospital in the kind of eastern towards the eastern exit from the city, and past the hospital that way.
Do you want to talk business? I've got a plan.
I think we have enough time to go over everything we need to.
Well, in that case, what did you think of my play?
I thought it could use a little work, but as a piece it was raw and rough.
I didn't know you liked that.
You know what? She smiles.
So like I say, I've got a plan.